Good morning. My name is George Hewes, and I'm a landless laborer. And today I'm here to defend the rights of the people to act in mobs when defending their liberties and securing the good of the people. It's springtime in New York, and while it's supposed to be a time of joy, that is not the case. We are living among despair, tension, and anxiety. The tyranny of the British Empire has caused the colonies extreme unrest. The unrest lies within the fact that we came for the colonies for liberty, and it is not what we are receiving. The laws and acts bestowed upon us by the British government have created an unforeseen divide of our people. Between the patriots, the moderates, and the loyalists, there is much tension. There is also a fourth, group that is left out, and this group is voiceless and cannot vote. This group is made up of laborers, women, and slaves. For reasons you will soon understand, I urge you to consider my words when questions of mob action arise. Being a landless laborer, left with no inheritance by my father, I see the other side of things. I was apprenticed as a young boy, and my fate was set for me. I've never had enough money to own my own shop, own my own land, or pay the fees necessary to vote. I've never been treated with respect because of my wealth, as many in my shoes. This treatment has led me to much hate for the elite and even deeper hate for the British. There's no hope in our colonies if we remain a British Empire, and that is why we must fight through mob action in support of the Patriots and the Association. Being a man of little worth, I have led many disenfranchised in mobs. While mob action has created movement in the directions I have wanted them to in the past, it's come to my attention that some believe that they are animalistic. To address these false allegations, mobs are just as important as legislative proposals and petitions, and because of this, I must remind you, with few exceptions, that most mobs are well organized. They have strategy, they have clear guidelines, we know who will take part, we know what we are hoping to achieve, and we know what direct threats we are making. There's been many of times, such as the Stamp Act, where mobs have actually helped. I think it's clear that mobs must take place for change to happen in our current state. And I also urge you to understand that it is the right of the people to mob because the people are the mob. What I mean by this is that the mob is the only way for the common people to defend their interests. We don't have a faction to support us. So, in mob action, we feel as if our voices can be heard. Now that you understand who makes up the mobs and why they must assemble, we must further understand why people have the rights to act in mobs. We are living under British rule, and if you do not believe that, take a look at the Intolerable Acts. They have taken away much, such as our ports, and they have controlled us far too much, such as our government, and they are housing British in our homes. The people among the common cannot vote on these issues, and because of that, the only way that we can voice our opinions on such matters is through mobs. To better understand this, we must consider the words of Locke. He has made it clear that men are born free and equal, and that the good of the people is the supreme law, yet we are not living in a society where the good of the people is the interest of the government. He's also made it clear, in regards to property, that is our God-given right, and when it is taken advantage of by the government, we are allowed to revolt. He mentions that the law is to protect the people's rights and not restrain them. For liberty is to be free from restraint. We are not living in a society where we are being given our liberty, but we are living in a society where what is happening is what's best for the British. He talks about the power of the government by saying legislatures should not serve the public good, should only serve the public good, tax only when with the consent of majority, and should not take our property without consent. It seems that all these rules are many of the reasons why we are having problems. Aside from these reasons, there are some even more potent things we must look at in regards to mob action. Like I mentioned, Locke believes that the good of the people is the supreme law, and if the supreme law is not being carried out, the people have the right to remove legislative government. What is being said is that the supreme power falls in the hands of the people, and the people are just trying to carry out the common good through mob action. He furthers these claims by talking of very many cases in which the government should and could be dissolved. Mind you, we have been hit by most of these. We are under a tyrannical government. The direct understanding of the right to resist can also be found in the words of Locke. He's made it clear that as long as it is just, rebellion is allowed. We have come to a time where the government is clearly not acting the law for the common people, and because of this, we have the right to act in mobs. I want to ensure you are understanding what I'm saying. The right of the people to act in mobs is because the government, the British and the elite, have taken away God-given rights, and they have also reverted to individualized power and priorities. The power of the people and the good of the people was given to society by God, and the power and the good of the people have been overlooked and diminished by our government. We as men, no matter the wealth or political power, all have the power by nature to preserve life, liberty, and estate. Because of this, and because this is being taken away, we have every right to overthrow and take action. To further about the animalistic ways, we can once again turn to Locke when he says, whenever the people shall choose their representatives upon just and undeniable equal measures suitable to original frames of government, it cannot be doubted and will be acted out in society. What he is saying here is as long as there is just reason for us to be acting out, we have the right, and it cannot be questioned by anybody. The common people must defend their liberties and secure the good of the people, and in doing so, they are just simply acting out their rights to mob. Thank you.